To some people, they don't think we have any meetings. Schrags Gruden was on fire yesterday, and you can just see some of that saltiness, some of that frustration coming through in some of his answers.
There's a really interesting dynamic going on between the Oakland media and John Gruden right now. Tim Kawakami and Vic Tafur, those guys are not soft. They don't put on kids' gloves, and they're giving it to Gruden every press conference. It's very combative. You're not getting answers like that in other markets. They are going out for blood. And it's going to be interesting how this thing plays out.
Week 7.
It's week 7.
Rightfully so. They paid him a ton of money.
They paid him a ton of money.
Every question.
Thank you, Will. Speaking of the Raiders, they're one team that you might not have a lot of fantasy players on right now.
That's true.
But as we start the week 7 with Thursday Night Football tomorrow, we asked you at home to tweet us your toughest fantasy football lineup questions. We've picked out the best, and we are going to turn to our guru, Kay Adams, to help us in this week's edition of Fantasy Face-Off.
Let's do it. A lot of teams on bye this week. So
a lot of teams on bye.
Let's help y'all out.
First up, I'm going to go first. This comes from Nick Johnson, not the old New York Yankee and Washington National, but someone on Twitter, maybe it is, who asks, Deshaun Watson or Jared Goff? Got the Niners and the Jaguars as the opponents.
Okay.
Help me.
So Jared Goff obviously coming off a bit of a down performance, if you will, against the Broncos, but in Denver, Sue. I love Deshaun Watson, but he does have 9 touchdowns this year and 7 interceptions. He's an interception in every game, and I don't like the matchup against Jacksonville. You can say Jacksonville isn't as tough as they were, but they're still the 3rd toughest against quarterbacks. So I'm going to give it to Jared Goff, who's averaging over 320 yards a game at this point. He's still a top 10 fantasy quarterback, and when all is said and done, I think he's still going to end up with better numbers than Watson. And he's 5th in the league, guys, with 321 yards per game. So I feel like he's still going to get it cooking up against San Francisco.
Who gave up a lot against
Yep.
No question.
What do you guys think about that?
After that Vikings game, that was such a Rembrandt. And that was the Black Swan. I would go with him every time, except unless it's against Mahomes or something. But no, I go with Goff.
What else we got?
Do you want to hear from Hunter Boyd?
I do.
Hunter Boyd's got questions. You got the running back questions. Philip Lindsay, who's got the Cardinals, or LaShawn Shady McCoy up against the Colts. What say you, Kay?
I'm going to go with the matchup here, which is Philip Lindsay. Philip Lindsay, like I was talking about him earlier, second to only Saquon and Sony Michel as far as rookie running backs are concerned. The Cardinals have allowed the 2nd most points to running backs. Guys like Latavius Murray have smoked them recently. So I'm going to go with the matchup over LaShawn McCoy, who I would play, obviously. I think he's not getting enough love for what he's done, and he has picked it up lately. The Colts have allowed just 1 running back over 60 yards over the last 5 games, though. So there's something about this Colts run defense that's actually holding up, at least as far as fantasy points are concerned. So when you guys like Tay Train, Mike Davis, Alfred Morris doing well against Arizona, you got to think that Philip Lindsay's going to have himself a day. There's
also this dynamic with Shady. Who's handing him the ball, right? If it's Peterman, I'm out. And if it's Derek Anderson, who's got rust and cobwebs on him, I might be out also. So I think it's safer to go with the Broncos.
Philip Lindsay looks fast.
I know.
He's making moves out there. He's starting to get his comfort as a young running back. You can tell his rhythm is there, and that's scary for defense.
Against the Rams, I was a little worried because in the beginning of the game, they were like, oh, Royce Freeman. And I was like, oh, is this going to happen? But then he ended up having a great game.
Himself a day. All right, well, I got another one. This is from P. Schragg's burner account.
Okay.
Peter's Fan 76.
I think it's Jason Peters, not my burner account.
You think it is?
Yeah.
Maybe Mark
I'll call it whatever I want.
76?
Okay, so he asked Allen Robinson, who has the Patriots, or Michael Crabtree, who has the Saints.
Whenever I think of Michael Crabtree, I think of one thing. It's toe drag swag and it's touchdowns. And Flacco and the offensive look better, but he does only have 1 touchdown in the last 5 games. I'm not going to go with him. Instead, I'm going to go with Allen Robinson, who seems to be developing some chemistry with his quarterback. He has touchdowns now in back-to-back games. There was a bye in the middle there. And I like both matchups. I like going up against New Orleans. I like going up against New England. But don't you guys think this Bears thing could turn into a high-scoring affair?
Yeah.
I feel like it
especially
could
Max banged up.
easily with some, the defensive troubles that the Patriots are facing. Believe it or not, they are not perfect on defense. So I feel like I'm going to go with Allen Robinson here. You guys ready for your face-off?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so it is National Fossil Day.
Okay.
Of course, you had it in your calendar.
Not the watches, but the bones in the ground.
The bones in the
I was thinking
ground.
Jim Fossil.
So when I think fossils, I think dinosaurs, and I can't think dinosaurs without thinking Jurassic Park. So I ask you in a face-off, new school Jurassic Park star Chris Pratt, skinny Chris Pratt, or Jurassic Park OG Jeff Goldblum. That wasn't it. Let's show it.
We can still get it.
Whose career would you rather have?
Career?
Yes.
Goldblum or Pratt? Go.
Goldblum, of course, man. He's a legend. He's been in a ton of great movies, and he's an absolute staple in the Jurassic Park franchise, so I'm going with Jeff.
I'm going to surprise you here. I'm going Pratt. Let me explain why.
I'm very surprised.
Hit the comedy thing early with Parks and Recreation, got the Guardians of the Galaxy money, is in Jurassic Park, and he did this thing where he went from fat guy to skinny guy, and now all the girls swoon over him. I think this guy is a no-hitter, home run, perfect game Hollywood career right now. I'm going with Pratt.
So, you two dig up dinosaurs? You're scientists. We're so preoccupied whether or not they could. You never stopped to ask if they should.
If you should.
And you stood on the shoulders of giants to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you knew it, you'd patent it and package it, and now you're selling, and you're selling, and you're selling. You do eventually plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? Goldblum. Goldblum. On the strength of a fly alone. The fly is
awesome.
Messed up.
The Fly is one of the
wild, disgusting
creepiest movies
But
of
you'd
all
rather
time.
have his career based pretty much on that one Jurassic Park film, and then he does commercials now. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park film
I would pick
and The
Goldblum,
Fly.
too.
You pick Goldblum too?
Just because when you're so little watching that movie, you're like, what is your deal?
Independence
It's so
Day
fascinating.
is an incredible role.
True.
Life Aquatic, he's great.
For all you kids at home, go watch The Fly. You'll like it.
He is great in Life Aquatic.
creepiest
True.
movie ever.
That's one
If
big
you guys have any answers for Face Off, hit us up at #GMFB Todd Gurley.